When you were a kid, I bet you remember going on long drives and seeing bugs splattered across the windshield. It was annoying, messy, and totally common. But now, on a lot of road trips, the windshield stays almost clean. Maybe you noticed that, maybe you didn't. That absence matters because bugs are disappearing from this planet, and most of us are treating it like a convenience. Fewer bugs on the windshield, fewer mosquitoes around the porch, fewer beetles in the grass, and fewer moths around the lights at night. At first, that sounds like a good thing. I don't really know anybody who wants more bugs in their house, more insects in their food, or more things crawling across the floor. But insects are not background noise. They are one of the foundations of life on Earth. They pollinate plants, they feed birds, fish, frogs, bats, and reptiles. They break down dead animals, fallen leaves, and waste. They recycle nutrients back into the soil. They help keep ecosystems alive in ways most of us never see. So when people say, it's just a bug, they're missing the bigger picture. The problem is not one bug dying in your apartment. The problem is that the entire insect population is shrinking. One well-known study in Germany found that flying insect biomass declined by 76% over 27 years in protected areas. Protected areas, not parking lots, not highways, not cities, places that were supposed to be safe for nature. And the old windshield memory actually has some scientific backing. A long-term study found that the number of insects killed on car windshields was strongly connected to insect abundance measured in other ways, like sweep nets and sticky plates. In other words, cleaner windshields may be pointing to real ecological change. So why is this happening? A big reason is habitat loss. We have replaced meadows, forests, wetlands, and wild edges with roads, lawns, farms, and buildings. To us, a perfect lawn might look clean, but to many insects, it is basically a desert. Then there are pesticides. These are chemicals designed to kill insects, but they do not always stop with the one pest people were trying to remove. They can affect bees, butterflies, beetles, and other insects that keep ecosystems functioning. Artificial light is another issue. Many insects rely on darkness, moonlight, and natural cycles to navigate, mate, and feed. When we flood the night with porch lights, street lights, and glowing buildings, we disrupt their behavior. And finally, there is climate change. Insects are small, sensitive, and often tied to very specific seasons, plants, and temperatures. When those rhythms shift too quickly, many species struggle to keep up. The result is not just fewer bugs, it is fewer birds because many birds depend on insects to feed their young. It is weaker soil because insects help decompose organic matter. It is less pollination because many crops and wild plants depend on insects to reproduce. The FAO says about 75% of global food crop types depend on at least partly on pollinators. So insects are not just part of nature, they are part of the system that feeds us. And this is where the way we treat bugs starts to matter. Because most of us were trained to kill first and ask questions later. A spider in the corner? Swat it. A beetle outside? Step on it. Ants in the yard? Spray everything. A moth near the light? Swat it away. Obviously, some insects can be dangerous. Mosquitoes and ticks can carry disease. Some pests can damage homes, crops, or stored food. This is not about pretending every insect belongs everywhere. It is about changing the default. Not every bug is a threat to you. Some are pollinators, some are decomposers, some are food for other animals. Some are just harmless visitors that ended up in the wrong place. So instead of instantly killing them, I'm asking you to pause. Move harmless bugs outside. Stop spraying lawns just to make them look perfect. Plant native flowers. Leave some leaves on the ground. And turn off unnecessary outdoor lights at night. Let part of the yard be a little messy, because messy is where life hides. Groups like the Nature Conservancy specifically recommend reducing outdoor lighting and using motion sensors or warmer lights to reduce disruption for insects. These actions are small, but they represent a different mindset. A world with fewer bugs might look cleaner, but it is not healthier. It is quieter, emptier, and more fragile. Because bugs are not pests. They are workers, pollinators, recyclers, soil builders, and food sources. They're tiny engineers holding together systems much bigger than themselves. So the next time you see a bug, maybe the question should not be, how do I kill it? Maybe it should be, does it actually need to die? Because if bugs disappear, we will not just lose something annoying, we will lose one of the small, invisible forces keeping the planet alive.